All right, what's up, Longview parents?
Ball the Beard here.
Or Rusty and Ryan, whatever you want to go with. But we are so thankful that you allow us to partner with you in the upbringing of your students, especially spiritually. One of the things we wanted to do is start giving you a resource every Thursday where we take what we talk about on Wednesday nights and give you some practical ways to kind of apply it so that you can come alongside your children and raise them up spiritually.
Yeah, you know, Rusty, talking with youth pastors around the state, and even just looking on youth pastors, things on the internet and stuff, we see there's a lot of lack of spiritual conversations just across the board. And that's kind of the beginning point of having gospel conversations, is just being able to have spiritual conversations with your peers, with us, with your parents. We just want to give you a chance to provide those opportunities at home for you and your student to talk about spiritual things, to talk about things of the Lord. So we're going to try to give you a synopsis of the sermon, and also maybe a few questions or a few pointers to have conversations with your students about.
So speaking of that, what did y'all talk about last night?
So last night, we're continuing the big picture, picking up after Moses and the nation of Israel went through the Red Sea. And so we picked up from there and kept going. We kind of honed in on the 10 Commandments, the part where all 10 of them. We came to the point where God
honor your father and mother, that one
spoke.
too?
Yes, honor your father and mother. Throw that one in your student's face, right? But God literally spoke to the nation of Israel. He didn't use Moses. In this moment, he spoke to them and said, these are the 10 Commandments I want to give you, my nation, to follow. And they said, yes, God, we're going to do it. And then Moses, goes up to the mountain, spend 40 days and 40 nights with God, getting all these other laws about oxes and what to do when it kills your neighbor's ox and all that cool stuff. Really practical for us in today's times. Right? But they get bored with him up there. They're like, what are we going to do? This guy's not coming back. And they make this golden calf. And the 40 days that he's up on the mountain. And right after they said, God, we're not going to make any images in your name, they make this golden calf and they say, this is the thing that brought us out of Israel. And just to be reminded that God was so faithful to them, and he continued to take them into the promised land. And so we can see God's faithfulness to us. And these laws are things that we need to do because we love God. It's not that we do these out of obligation. It's not that these laws, these rules, these good church things don't save us, right? Jesus says that because he fulfilled the law in Matthew 5. And then we're not under the spirit of law, we're in the spirit of grace in Romans 6:14. And the blessings of that. But just to be reminded that we need to obey God and do what he says because he loves us and because he is faithful to us despite our disobedience. And one thing we can do that is just be reminded of the gospel daily, because when we're reminded of the gospel, we're reminded of his faithfulness, and that should spur us on to be loyal and faithful to God because he is faithful to us.
And as parents, I think one of the takeaways that you can do is have that conversation with your student about why they do what they do. We act not to save us, like you said, but we act a certain way because we love God. We do the right thing. We seek to love others instead of hate a lot of times.
Right.
And that's one thing that as parents, you should have those conversations with your children.
And just to have the motivation, I guess, behind it. Not just why did you do that? Because it was the right thing to do.
Right.
But because they knew that God would want them to do that. It's not an obligation like, yeah, Mom, I'm going to clean my room. It's like, Mom, I appreciate what you do for me. I'm going to go pick up my dirty underwear and put them in the clothes hamper.
Absolutely. Dirty underwear goes in the clothes hamper, children. Also, but just remember, as parents, man, you have such a great opportunity to have those conversations when you're going to school, when you're sitting around the dinner table, when you're out at Pyros, wherever you're going to eat. You have an opportunity to go
driving to ball practice.
Driving to ball practice. Just drop the little conversation in there about why we do what we do this week. Mm-hmm. And again, just thank you for allowing us to come alongside you.
Absolutely.
We're done.
Godspeed.
Godspeed.